Peace, assalamu alaikum, hotep, grand rising, praise God. What's up, what's happening, or whatever it is that you ascribe to. Dead eye. You gotta go against Big Dog, bro. You got to. So when Lil Freeze and Dead Eye falls on the zone, I'm thinking, what can I do to stop Lil Freeze from getting smashed? Now, one thing I know about Big Dog, he loves knowledge, and he will listening to reason. But one thing I know about prison, you have to have dirt on somebody, you have to have leverage on somebody, or you have to use the policies and guidelines for you to win that battle, or for the truth to be on your side, or for the right decision to be on your side, or for righteousness to be on your side. That's the only way. I don't got no dirt on Big Dog at this time, because I told y'all I got some stories about Big Dog. I come to find out he was playing a lot of police games. But I know, he a knowledgeable dude, and I know he respect righteousness. I know this one thing I know about him. And but so what I decided to do, like I have to get some leverage. I have to get some brothers to side with, what it is that needs to happen so Lil Freezy can't get smashed. So what I do, the first thing I do, I go to Dead Eye. I'm talking to him like, bro, Big Dog really called undue heat on his own, bro, because they had done killed the situation. You know what I mean? I'm talking to Dead Eye like that. He was like, yeah, but he made the call though, bro. Once the call get made, it is what it is. I said, it don't supposed to be like that though, bro. And Big Dog already know that this is laws and policies. He brought undue heat to the zone because them guys had already did the situation for one. And the GDs that Jay Memphis got to fighting with, they ain't even on the zone. And they ain't even had no issue with it. Big Dog just took it upon himself. I don't know if he had something against Jay Memphis, but he don't even know Jay Memphis for real. Big Dog just took it upon himself to make that call, bro, and it was a bogus call, bro. I said, you got some brothers on the zone that feel the same way I feel. So I'm saying, Dead Eye, you gonna have to go against Big Dog so Lil Freezy won't get smashed. When he was like, well, me and Lil Freezy, we the one that got the boxing. Do you got a problem with Lil Freezy? He was like, nah, I rock with the brother. And I really respect what he did. Like, that was some grown man shit. He rolled with his homeboy. He know that man on the street. Like, that was love to me. But we in prison, and it's what it is, bro. He went against the mob. But personally, I don't got no issue with freezing. Matter of fact, we were riding each other kites in the hole while we was in the hole. You know what I mean? So as far as me, I don't hold no grudge against Lil Freezy. You know what I mean? And so I said, well, this is what you do, bro. You call the OD right quick. Let's talk to some of these brothers and see, like, we're gonna have to bring the laws and policies. We're gonna have to bring the concept out and see if we can get, some brothers on my side. I said, you go call the OD. I'm about to go knock on the back door. I'm about to get Tony to the back door. Now, Tony was a good dude, bro. But he wasn't about no play. And Tony was a juke, and Tony was over all the jukes at Marshall County at this time. Me and Tony, we real cool. I know Tony was listening to reason. Now let me go to a commercial break if I may. I done already told y'all what a juke was, how it started. But I'm gonna explain to y'all, whatever the jukes say, whatever they stamp, that's what goes. No ifs and buts about it. But the standing members, the GDs, the regular standing members, they can stand up, but it's gonna be a war between the jukes and the standing members. And don't nobody want that, because them jukes, they are trained psychologically. They are trained to put that iron in you. That's what they gonna do. So, you know, I just had to make that move. So, like I said, ain't nobody gonna want jukes and standing members. Ain't nobody gonna want that, because if it pop off right here, it could pop off in Parchman, it can pop off in Greene County, it can pop off at every facility in Mississippi. And don't nobody want that, don't nobody need that, because we all up under the same umbrella. We all up under the 6-point star, right? But the jukes have the say-so in the prison. But most of the time, jukes don't even get involved in standing member business. And standing members don't even get involved in juke business. If a standing member see another juke either smashing another juke or smashing another standing member, they had to do it. That's all they gonna say. Now, but you got some standing members that dislike jukes and dislike what they stand for and feel like they got too much power and they gonna stand up. You know what I mean? You got some like that. But 9 times out of 10, they gonna look the other way. So I go to the window, wave in the window. Tony is on C-Pod. So I kind of have to, lean over, because you really can't see directly into C-Pod. So I'm waiting on somebody to come by so I can get their attention. Just so happens somebody came by to get on the phone. I got their attention. He like, what's up? So I'm like, the jukes, most of them, they got the horns on their head, especially if they done went on a mission. They either got the horns or the teardrops. So I'm like, this, Tony. I'm telling him to get juke Tony, tell him to come to the back door. So he like, all right. So I can hear him call Tony name. Tony, y'all's the ones you at the back door. So I guess he say, all right. So I go to the back door. He knock on the door. Now, in Marshall County, that's how the zone's set up. Like, you got A-Pod. We in B-Pod, A-Pod, C-Pod, D-Pod. A and C-Pod is right here together, and it's a back door. It's 2 of them that separate A and C-Pod. And you can slide stuff up under the door, and you can talk through the door. So he like, what's up, little bro? Tony, he was a cool dude, bro. So I'm like, bro, it's a situation. I know you heard about, what happened with Jay Memphis and, Liv Freeze and Dead Eye. He was like, yeah, I heard about it. He was like, what's up, though? I'm like, bro, Big Dog really made a bogus call, bro, because they had them killed the situation. You know what I mean? But Big Dog, son, word, Big Dog made the call for Dead Eye to smash Jay Memphis. And I said it really was undue heat, because they had already then killed the situation. The administration had let them out the hole, and they didn't have no issues. So Tony was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, bro. And I said, now, it's gonna be more undue heat, because now Big Dog talking about smashing Lil Freezy, because he's saying Freezy went against the mob. So he was like, yeah. I'm like, yeah, bro. I said, we need to really talk about this. I said, but I don't want my face on it. You know what I mean? He like, yeah, I understand. So I'm gonna get, you and Dead Eye, y'all need to sit down and talk. And then tomorrow, you and Dead Eye need to talk. I'm finna call Dead Eye over here, and then tomorrow, you need to, you run the compound, bro. You the juke. I said, but first let me ask you, what do you think about the situation? He was like, well, yeah, the first thing was if they hadn't already killed the situation, and then Big Dog made that call, then yeah, he brought undue heat, because that really didn't have to happen. And brothers that made sacrifice and went to the hole, or somebody could have got hurt real bad, somebody could have got unalive, you know what I mean? So yeah, he in the wrong for that, bro, you know what I mean? And he was like, and he wanna smash Lil Freezy. That's gonna bring more undue heat on the building, you know what I mean? Even though Lil Freezy was in the wrong for going against the mob, bro, he like, bro, that's a no-no, and he really supposed to get it done to him, but I kind of understand the situation, you know what I mean? So yeah, tomorrow I'm gonna call, we're gonna follow it on the yard, and then I'm gonna have that conversation with Big Dog. So I'm like, all right, appreciate that, bro. He was like, yeah, ain't no problem, cool. So I said, hold on, let me call Dead Eye. So by this time, Dead Eye, he done talked to the GDs. So we talking while we walking to the back door. I'm like, Tony wanna holler at you. He was like, okay. He was like, well, what y'all talk about? And I ran into him what we talked about. And I said, how it go with the OD? He was like, the brothers, most of the brothers feel the same way. We took a vote, and the brothers who feel like Big Dog brought heat, it was more the majority, the majority rule. So he went and talked to Tony, and they came up with an understanding. And so the next day, to make a long story short, the next day they call yard, and you got jukes and standing members there in the huddle, and the officers that's patrolling the yard call. He walk over there, everything got it going on. But I mean, what y'all doing, y'all need to get out of this huddle. And so Tony and Big Dog, they like, we just give us a few minutes. Ain't no issue, just give us a few minutes. I ain't out there, because I don't want to be in y'all already know I ain't trying to get involved in all that. The administration, they respect me. I mean, they respect them too. I ain't saying that like they don't respect them too, but y'all know what I'm saying. Like, they know, like, these guys, they gangbangers. I ain't no gangbanger, you know what I mean? So, but I found out what happened after the yard. So they out there, Tony and Big Dog, they talking, everybody surrounding them. And the vice lords, they on point. They don't really know what's going on, but they on point. And so when Dead Eye and them came back on the zone, everybody, take their showers. It be hot outside. It's the summertime too. No, it ain't summertime. Was it summertime? No, it wasn't summertime, but everybody, people was out there working out. So everybody fall into the shower, you know what I mean? Getting their stuff together, and people cooking meals or whatnot. So Dead Eye finally came to me, and he was like, bro, Tony did, Tony did the situation, bro. I'm like, what happened? And he was like, he told he told Big Dog that he really brought undue heat for making that call. And even though Lil Freezy was in the wrong for going against the mob, but that situation would have never happened if Big Dog wouldn't have made that call. So he told Big Dog, hands off Lil Freezy. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's what's up, bro. Like, that's what's up, bro. He was like, he told me, he's like, Yaza, bro, like, man, you really a smart dude, man. Like, you really stand on disciplism. You really stand on righteousness, bro. You know what I mean? Like, that was a good move, bro, because I really wouldn't have known what to do. Only thing I know to do is when somebody make the call, only thing I know to do is just go, bro. Cause I'm a gangster, bro. You know what I mean? But he like, bro, I done learned a lot from you, man. You real intelligent. I love the way you move, bro. You know what I mean? And I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that to Lil Freezer, bro. But he do got to get a violation, though. That's 430. He got to get a violation. He finna get punched on. But, hey, he ain't going to get smashed, though. So I'm like, that's cool. That's cool. So me and Lil Rat and Freezer, we start back talking. And I'm like, man, let's write a rap, bro. So we get the pen and paper out. Write us another rap, bro. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. I always been the type of person, especially in prison, when I started learning the politics and learning what I need to know to protect myself, and all the situations that I ever got myself involved in prison, except that time me and two of the BDs jumped on the Vice Lord. But he wasn't screaming no more. But except that time, I was just on some nonsense then. But all the other situations I've been in is 9 times out of 10 it was because I was standing up for somebody else. I always been the type of person that's gonna speak my mind. And I knew that would get you the most respect. Even though it's dangerous sometimes, like, God been with me so much, man, I could have had myself in a lot of situations by speaking my mind against some of these guys, man. Cause these guys, they mentality be so thrown off, like they can't comprehend logic and reason. Only thing they want to do is put their hands on people. You know what I mean? That's they go-to. You know what I mean? But I always been the type to speak my mind and try to calm a situation down, bro. You know what I mean? That always been my character. That's still my character. Now, I still got a lot of flaws, and I still have indulged in a whole lot of nonsense and a whole lot of bullshit. But for the most part, bro, that's who I am. That's my character, bro. And it all worked out. I ain't bigger than the mob. You know what I mean? I ain't want them issues with the mob, but sometimes, bro, you just gotta step up and stand up and be an outstanding member, bro. And that's what I was. You know what I mean? So, to the next story, y'all be smooth out here.